Good morning, friends. There we go. It's 5:21 a.m. Let me set up the timer and let's get ready for this morning's workout. Hello. Um, Thanks for dropping by. For those of you watching, my name's Toby. I'm 40 years old and I'm training to live a self-sufficient, active, and adventurous life. And in order to do that, I mind my sleep, which I got 7.5 hours of last night. I mind what I eat. I try to eat healthy, wholesome, home-cooked meals 9 times out of 10, or 90% of the time. I work on my strength through strength training. I work on my conditioning, running and with kettlebells, and I work on my mobility. And today we're going to work on mobility because it's Tuesday. It's strength yesterday. And my body needs time to recover and to grow stronger. And we grow stronger when we're resting. And mobility and the core that I do is low enough impact for it to feel like it gives my body a chance to recover. So that's what I'm going to be up to this morning. But what about you? If you drop by on the chat, go ahead and say hello. I always like to hear from people, hear where they are in the world. I'm in Amsterdam or near Amsterdam. So if you know where the Netherlands is, you know that it's now about 5:24 to 5:25 in the morning. And that means that it is the start of the day. It's the start of this Tuesday for me. You might be tuning in and it might be evening or the end of the day for you if you're in the United States. If you're a bit further onto the east, it might be already halfway through the day for you. Whatever time of day it is, I hope that you're having a good day and that you are enjoying yourself. In the meantime, like I always say, this is about the way I feel, not about the way I look. But regardless of your fitness goals, whether those are health and fitness goals, whether those are to lose weight, to build muscle or change the way you look, to grow stronger, to build endurance, to participate in any kind of sport, whatever it is that you're working on, it pays off to remember that we're good just the way we are, and we've got to love ourselves before we can move on, because it's the person we are today who's going to get us to where we want to be tomorrow, and it's important to remember that. Good morning, my friend Devalis. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having a good day at work, where I assume you are, or on your commute, that you're on your way safely. It's good to see you again. Ooh, I did get 7.5 hours of sleep, and I just realized that this is about the sweet spot, by the way, that I wake up 4:40, 4:45 in the morning. If I would fall asleep again after that, I'd need about 90 minutes, which would be 5:40, 6:15, and that would be the moment where it becomes slightly impossible to do any kind of workout after again. So, because then the family wakes up and we have to get on with the day. Kilakazi, thanks for dropping by, and I hope you're doing all right where you are in the world. And thanks for saying hi, where we're at. And let's, as I said at the start of the chat, be respectful of everyone here. Please, thanks. The only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work, friends. So I'm going to get started with the morning mobility routine. And if you have any questions or want to ask me anything, go ahead and let me know in the chat, and we can talk about it. It's alright. I can speak up a little bit louder, but I tend to speak quite softly because it is early morning, and I'm also still waking up this morning. So like I was saying, like, it's important to remember that we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can really move on. And we sometimes forget that it is the person we are today who's going to get us to where we're going to be tomorrow. The breathing exercise. Just breathe in deeply. Let the diaphragm push out. Push everything down. And moving on to the neck. There we go. Just forward and backward. All right, and next we will make a W with our arms and do a hitchhiker. My Tibosh, thanks for dropping by, and I appreciate you saying hello this morning and asking a question. Am I just stretching, or do I want more flexibility? I'm actually more interested in mobility and just overall control and the range of motion on my body. I think today, the title is a stretching routine, I see. So it is more about being able to use my joints and body in different positions and being in control of the movement than it is about how bendy and flexible I am, if that makes sense. And to do that, one of the most important things is to actually move the body into different positions to try to get that range of motion and keep it. And I can tell you, being 40, that you just start to lose a little bit of that ability. If you're not careful, you can get a lot of it back. I've seen that with my Cossack squats, and also with the range of motion overhead that I was limited in a year and a half ago. But you do need to do something to get there. And that something is going through any kind of mobility routine, really, or any kind of exercise and movement. Because the golden rule here is, if you use it, you won't lose it. And one of our biggest challenges is the fact that we probably sit more than 4 hours a day. And if we're then moving, we're not moving sufficiently to offset it, and we're not moving with enough variety and intensity. most of the time. And it doesn't mean you have to work out 6 hours a day, but there's a difference between walking 2 or 3 hours a day, or walking and carrying things like tools or luggage, or food and water for a hike through the mountains, crawling and climbing versus walking up the stairs, or things like that. And I think we forget that we should be able to crawl across the floor and move low as easily as we should be able to climb and jump and leap. So, and what you need for that, obviously, is some mobility and stability in life. And then you build a solid base of that by doing different kinds of exercises. This is, for those of you who are quite observant, a horizontal squatting motion designed to help improve hip mobility. We're working on the shoulders. I saw one message coming in. I'm going to check that in a moment. So just hang in there. I'll get around to your question in a bit. I'm going to do this 2 times 30 seconds. Just because it's such a beneficial and feel-good exercise. The cat and cow. And it's Tuesday morning. Tuesday is always a nice day because it's a busy day. There's a lot of work that needs to get done. But anyway, my philosophy is that I want to take it slow and easy and step by step, bit by bit, day by day. And a lot then is actually possible in terms of how your body can change and adapt and grow stronger and more flexible. Whiskey thief. Wanting soy properly. We say a healthy body has a healthy mind. What was said? Really strong. Oh, I think one of the things involved is thank you for the support. You're a good friend. I think one of the things about turning 40 is that you know how to read things and what to take to heart and what to ignore. So thank you. And I think soy is actually a relatively good addition to any diet. But I'm not sure what it has to do with a mobility and flexibility routine. And I do hope I answered your question about what it is that we're training for, that I'm training towards. Before, let me know in the comments. And for those of you who just started watching, thanks for dropping by. My name is Toby. I'm 40 years old and I'm training so that I can keep living an active, self-sufficient and adventurous life. Not only now, but, well, into the future, because one thing is abundantly clear, is that up until about 35 or 40, you have the advantage biologically. You recover, you can work hard, you can grow, and your body will do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. After 40, however, friends, you need to put in a bit more work, and as time goes by, you need to progressively put in more and more work to maintain or improve your level of health and fitness. Now, the nice thing about it is that it doesn't take that long, as you've seen here on my channel. Maybe it takes about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes in a day, plus a bit of mindfulness about how long we sleep and how much we eat, and that goes a long way in terms of health and fitness. So that's something you're interested in, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and we can continue this conversation about health and fitness, specifically from 30 to 40, which I have some experience with, being very much bent out of shape in my 30s and having reclaimed and recaptured a lot of that by my mid-30s, and growing stronger into my 40s. And there's other things that we can talk about as well that might have your and mine interest when it comes to life and health. I'm a father. Talk about being a man. Talk about raising men in this world, my career, life in general, if that's something you're interested in. So, I guess there are many things that we might discuss when it comes to health and fitness, and there is a lot to discuss, totally. So if you're interested in that, again, just go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and we can continue this conversation. But yeah, like I always say, health and fitness is very personal. But it's something to take serious, because now we still have 10, 20 years to lay a solid foundation for the future. And I think it was Layne Norton, in an article the other day he was reviewing, said that in an experiment, a randomized control trial that they did with people, where people were either doing heavy resistance training, moderate resistance training, or no training at all, was the group that did the most intense variety of training, that had the biggest long-term benefits on their overall health and fitness. And I think an exercise routine that incorporates strength and conditioning and mobility in a variety of ways, varying movements, is one of those foundations for a healthy and fit life. And you don't have to look like an Instagram model, or most of the thumbnails on YouTube, to be healthy and fit, by the way, right? I'm sure those people are putting in time and effort, and I'm sure they are, in a way, fit. Sometimes I wonder if they're healthy, but you can't judge that from a distance. Just like you can't judge someone by looking at them, whether they are fit or healthy. But you, for yourself, probably know whether you're fit or healthy. You run out of breath after one flight of stairs. Is it easy or hard to stow a suitcase overhead in an airplane, or even a bag? How about carrying groceries from the store to the car, not carting them around, but just picking up a bag in your left hand and your right hand, lifting them up from the floor properly, and then heading to the car, or walking home? How about playing with your kids or your grandkids? I think is an important one to maybe consider. Are you able to get down low and up again with relative ease and comfort, or not? It's just important to keep those little things in mind. Would you be able to run for a minute? Not even as fast as you could, but just a slightly faster pace than how you would normally move, and not be out of breath at the end of it. Would you be able to book it across an airport with a suitcase in hand or in tow to make it to a flight on time? Most things that need moving around the house. You ever go to IKEA? A box might be 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 kilos. Right? Most things around the house that need to get done. If you look at kettlebells form a relatively good set of weights to represent things that need doing around the house. We're going to move on to some core training, by the way. You might have an interest there in seeing how easy or hard it is to lift things up off the ground or move them around. Just the basic things that need to move or be done in life. So it's just worth maybe thinking about those things. And I also often think about the things that I would like to do when I'm 50 and when I'm 60. It's 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You know, what do I want to be physically able to do? And in order to be able to do those things, I'm pretty sure I will require some strength, some conditioning, some mobility. In other words, a healthy and capable and fit body. But I also understand that when you're in your 20s, you think you're indestructible. And you think that's going to last for life. And when you're in your 30s, you're slightly in denial about the difference in energy and strength and conditioning compared to when you were 20. And then you can continue ignoring the facts, or you can wise up and look ahead and see how you're going to prepare yourself to stay fit and healthy throughout life. And health and fitness, very personal. So you need to do things that work for you, that you enjoy doing, and that make you feel good about your life. Because in the end, that's the most important thing. Now, of course, with this one, the lower the legs are, the harder it is. Right, so I just need to be mindful of that. Now we take a 30-second break before continuing. Ivanis, thank you so much. It is I think that in general people want themselves and others to live long, happy and healthy lives. And I'm glad you are on this channel to share those thoughts in the chat. And comments. So I appreciate you sharing that with me this morning. All right. We're going to do the all fours. Then we have some suitcase deadlifts that we need to do. This is a fun one, right? Where you position yourself on 4 and you lift 1 at a time, trying to keep yourself from falling over by really bracing that core. Oh boy. Sorry to need these two, but first I'm going to do some suitcase deadlifts. Suitcase deadlifts, the weight's on one side, and we're trying to keep our body erect and square. Challenges the unilateral obliques and our core stability. Because our body will want to fold under the weight. By the way, I'm not sure these kinds of exercises are going to give you a six-pack, but they are going to give you a strong and solid core that is going to help you deal with whatever life throws at you, friends. And again, being able to stay upright and have the core strength to deal with forces that are being exerted on your body is important. More important, maybe, than we sometimes want to admit and realize. Okay. Next one, we're going to do a little double whammy. Now, a wader walk and a loaded carry in one. I could also walk around my living room, or my kitchen, I should say, which is slightly more challenging than marching in place. Friends, if you can do this, then you can walk with any suitcase anywhere. I think there's 2 challenges here. 3 actually. The first is your general conditioning. This immediately forces your body to work, therefore elevates your heart rate. 2, you need the core stability and strength to be able to carry weight to one side of your body. And 3, you need the overhead mobility to be able to push your arm up overhead with a weight in it. Final exercise of this morning is, of course, some sets of hand to hand swings, because what happens when you swing with one weight in hand, you have to keep your shoulders squared and the weight is going to try and pull you forward. So you're using your core belt to stay squared. I'll show you head on. By the way, 30-second rest. You can do swings with a lightweight, 4 kilos, 6 kilos, 8 kilos. It doesn't really matter. It's a good conditioning and core exercise when you can get to hand or one-sided swings. And now we're going to be done for today. So for those of you who have been watching and active in the comments, thanks a lot. I appreciate you dropping by so early on a Tuesday morning to say hi. See, we're trying to stay squared and upright. And there we have it for today. We are done. 35 minutes in, 6 a.m., friends. And how nice it has been. Some easy mobility core this morning. No rush, nothing crazy. Just us doing a workout to stay in shape at 40, to make sure we maintain that range of motion, maintain our ability to move through life the way we want to move through life. For those of you who just started watching, my name's Toby. I'm 40 years old. I train for living an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life, not only now, but hopefully well into my 80s, 90s, who knows, maybe even 100. This is about the way I feel, not about the way I look. And I want to feel fit and capable, and I have a routine that helps me do that. I focus on my sleep, focus on what I eat, strength training, conditioning training, and mobility. And most of the training you can follow online here with me, because it's the 30 minutes in the day that I am actually doing the workout I spend here, and I live stream it, so you can come and say hi, and if you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and we can continue this conversation. We're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. I think sometimes we forget, friends, that it's the person we are today who's going to get us to where we want to be tomorrow. So a bit of kindness goes a long way. I talk about health, fitness, my career, my life, being a father, being a man, raising men. So if anything of that has your interest, I'd love to continue this conversation with you. And the only way to get anything done, friends, is by showing up and doing the work. So, Evalis, I'm going to read your final message. Thank you so much. And you too. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, friends.